What's up, everyone? Welcome to the first edition of Throwback Thursday with Jimmy and Ginger here. And today we're going to be talking about, in my memory at least, this might be my favorite event of all time that I've watched live. UFC 217, November 4th, 2017 at Madison Square Garden. Three title fights on this card. Michael Bisping defending his middleweight title against the returning GSP after I believe that was about 4.5 years off. Okay, and it was 4 years almost to the day, and GSP came back.
Yep.
Cody Garbrandt in the co-main event defending his belt against TJ Dillashaw, and then Joanna Jędrzejczyk defending her belt against Rose Namajunas. All
hmm
champions got dethroned that night.
All of them.
My favorite thing about it was the first title fight ended in the first round, the second title
hmm
fight ended in the second round, and the third one ended in the third round. Ginger,
Amazing.
where do you want to start this card off? Do you want to start off at the top? Do you want to start off even before these title fights with some of the opening
See,
fights on the card?
that that's an interesting question because if we want to start off, we can start off at the beginning and at a former champion being kind of just dominated for the entirety of their fight. Six
Yeah.
minutes, 26 seconds in total for the whole fight. And that would be Johnny Hendricks fighting Paulo Costa.
Bohashinya, the
Oh,
eraser.
shame, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Hendricks up a weight class at middleweight. This is
Yep.
clearly post USADA Johnny Hendricks.
This was a post USADA, post IV ban,
Oh
and
yeah,
he
oh
just
yeah,
could no longer make that 170 limit
yeah.
no matter what he did. And so he just had to move up where he was much smaller than most of his competition, especially Paulo Costa. I was watching this event, the commentary, like Joe Rogan even said, these two look two weight classes apart.
Yep, 100. Yeah,
Like they don't even look like they're in the same weight class.
yeah, it looked like a welterweight fighting a light heavyweight.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
That is
it's
exactly what it looked like.
yeah. Johnny Hendricks going into that fight was 1-4 out of his last five. He
Yep,
got spinning back kick and punches by Wonder Boy. Lost two back-to-back decisions against Kelvin
yep,
Gastelum, Neil Magny. Beat Hector Lombard in a unanimous decision, but then got
mhm,
finished in the second round by Tim Bosch. And
yep, and that
yeah,
would have been at 185
yep. And then
as
yeah,
well.
against fucking Paulo Costa, he just beat the shit out of Johnny Hendricks. That just sucks. Like that was
Yeah,
so
no,
sad.
it was just continual body. Like the first round was a bunch of body kicks landing,
Yep.
some right hands landing for Costa. Hendricks trying to throw back, trying to shoot for some takedowns. He had nothing for
Yeah,
Paulo
no.
Costa.
Yeah.
He did not have a single thing, and that just came down to the size and strength advantage that Paulo Costa has.
Yeah, you really got to see all of the like the fucking how do I phrase, like all of the base of Paulo Costa's game, and like
Mhm.
what like the basics that he goes to that like allows his game to thrive and what he does
Yeah.
good. Like you got to you that was showcased in the Johnny Hendricks fight.
Oh yeah.
The switch kicks to the body up against the cage, just like trapping him off. Like yeah, it
Yep.
was yeah, just that was classic Paulo Costa in that fight.
Yeah.
10 and
No.
0 going into it, like that, it was only Paulo's third fight in the UFC, and yeah,
Mhm.
he just
And,
absolutely butchered Johnny Hendricks.
and really anything Johnny Hendricks threw and landed did not affect Paulo Costa in any type of way whatsoever.
Yeah,
It just
nothing.
was not there was nothing for him there.
I mean, Paulo, 2 fights later was eating head kicks and punches from Yoel Romero.
Romero.
So old fat Johnny Hendricks, you know what I mean? That he
Yeah.
wasn't gonna get anything done to him that night.
No.
It just,
Unfortunately, it was what it was.
yep,
And yeah, no, at 185, like Johnny Hendricks just didn't have anything anymore. And after USADA came in, yeah, he literally just did not have that much left.
yeah,
Like
his
before that,
body
losing
changed
his
crazily. He
yeah,
just,
no, losing his title to Robbie Lawler, and then
yep,
just not having a great record thereafter.
yeah,
I know he beat Matt Brown, who would have been a title contender if he had beat Robbie Lawler, but
yep. Yeah,
There was just
it's
nothing for
uh
him.
a rough end for Johnny and Johnny Hendricks
Yeah,
after that. But the
100%.
the next fight after that was motherfucking Stephen Wonderboy Thompson getting a win over Jorge
Ryan
Masvidal.
Masvidal.
It's crazy. I don't know what they were ranked at this, like
Mhm.
going into this, but I wouldn't be surprised if Wonderboy was around top five still. Um,
Wonderboy was 2 and Masvidal was 4.
that's insane. Yeah, so Wonderboy being ranked two, and now it's almost 6 years later, 5.5 years later, and he's still in
Mhm.
the top 10 of that division.
Yeah,
Crazy.
he's number 6 and
Yep.
Masvidal is number 10.
Yep. I mean, 10. But yeah, that was Masvidal's last fight before he went on his little
Yep.
layoff and had his resurrection in 2019.
Yep.
But yeah, honestly, I really don't remember too much from this fight.
So I actually ended up after the event last night, I ended up
Mhm.
watching this fight because we were talking about doing this,
Yep, yep.
and so I was watching the fight, and it was pretty much all Stevens. It was classic Stevens, a lot of leg kicks, a lot of body kicks, the,
Yep.
side lead kick, the, lead side kick to the body, lead
Yep.
side he threw a couple to the head, just changing up his targets, moving in, out, blitzing, dropped Jorge Masvidal in the second.
Yeah.
Watching, I had it 30-27 for Wonder Boy. I believe one judge had it that, two of them had 29-28 Jorge, or is two at minimum, one had it 30-27, one had it 29-28.
I got you.
They
Yeah,
were all for Wonder Boy.
I got you. Looking at the stats, yeah, the total and significant strikes were the same for both of
Yeah.
them. 70 out of 156 for Wonder Boy, 42 out of 142 for Masvidal.
Mhm.
0 for 2 on takedowns for Masvidal, and yeah, like you
Yep.
said, Wonder Boy with the one knockdown in that fight.
Yeah, so it was just classic Wonder Boy Thompson, blitz in, blitz out, sidekick.
Yep. Good old
Very
Wonder
just
Boy.
Yeah, just a very academic showing by Wonder Boy in that fight.
But yeah, very good work.
Mhm.
But the first title fight of that night, Joanna versus Thug Rose. At this point,
Thug Rose.
Thug Rose. Yep,
Thug
that's where the
Rose.
fucking the meme came from. Oh, it was
DC.
so good. Joanna going into this fight 14 and
Mhm.
0, I believe
Yep.
did she have 6 title defenses or 5 title defenses? I think she was
She
going
was
for 6.
trying to tie with
Ronda 4-6,
Nunes.
right?
Yeah, Ronda for 6 because she beat
Yes.
Esparza 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this would have been her 6th.
Yes. Okay. And so yeah, 14 and 0, 5 title defenses, 6
Mhm.
championship wins coming into it. And for
Yeah.
Rose, she was on a 1 fight winning streak, which was
Yep.
a rear naked choke over Michelle Watterson, and she
Mhm.
had a split decision loss to Karolina Kowalkiewicz before that.
Yep.
So no one gave Rose a fucking prayer in this fight. I
No.
remember fucking Joanna, the boogie woman is
When it's
coming for you,
coming
Rose.
through.
And just, oh man, like fucking they're doing the stare down and
Yeah.
Joanna's just up in her face, just staring at her, looking all crazy. Rose just
Mhm.
hands at the sides, just like, just muttering something to herself. And I
Mhm.
remember Joe Rogan was just like, Rose, what were you like saying, like, during the stare down? She's like, I was just
Mhm.
saying the Lord's Prayer, and that
Yeah.
was it. And he was just like, all right, like oh man, no one gave her a shot. she
Not any.
she fucking went out there and put on a fucking you can barely even say that it was a
Mhm.
striking clinic because of just how little, like, there was barely that many strikes landed and it didn't even go
Uh-huh.
for that long, but Rose just beat the shit out of Joanna.
Yeah,
15
no, like
strikes to 5, 15 significant strikes to 5, 18 to 5 total strikes, and 1 knockdown in just 3 minutes and 3 seconds for
mhm.
Rose. Made Joanna end up tapping to strikes like it. Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
god.
It
That was beautiful.
They were, talking on commentary that this is what Rose needed because Rose did attempt a takedown,
Mhm.
or it looked like yeah, and that's what they were saying that she needed. No, it was she knocked her down, they're on the ground, they're like, "This is what she needs to do, she needs to keep it on the ground," da, da, they end up back on their feet.
Yep.
Rose gets her down again, and that was just the finishing sequence where she ends up tapping to strikes.
Yep. Yeah, it was
So
it just wasn't. It wasn't any sort of a contest,
It
really.
yeah, it really wasn't that competitive
Not at
considering
all.
what it was, even though it did go for, over 2 minutes, like, it was 3:03 of round number 1.
Yeah, like that's you hardly see that in like just championship fights in
Yeah.
general. Just getting blasted out of the waters like that. And I
No,
mean,
yeah.
it's just crazy too because like yeah, going into that fight, Joanna was 14-0, and since
Mhm.
that she's only won 2 fights and she's lost 4 more after
Yeah.
like that first Rose loss. So just her career has really changed like after that, and that was a
Mhm.
changing of the guard moment for sure.
It really was, and I'm wondering, like, if part of that had to also do with, like, having a fairly not a long career in, it was either Muay Thai or kickboxing, but she was a
Hmm.
Muay Thai kickboxer before
Yep.
that.
Yeah, she had
So,
I think 2 or 3 losses to Valentina
yeah,
in Muay Thai.
in Muay Thai.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
So, yeah, she's been fighting for a long time, and yeah, because I mean even at this point, she's I'm sorry, I'm on Thug
mhm,
Rose. Because what she's I know she did end up retiring after the
Whaley
last one.
fight.
Yeah. Oh, my computer's being slow. But yeah, 35 years old. So like you said, not too old, but just she's old in the fight game, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly, like, yeah, she had 3 decision losses to Valentina Shevchenko
Yeah.
in Muay Thai,
Yeah. And
which is
because yeah,
kind
it
of
was all tournaments. They kept on just beating
yeah.
everyone to the top, and Valentina would just beat her.
Yeah, no. I Valentina Shevchenko and Joanna Jędrzejczyk, the original Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's funny because they're gonna end up fighting 4 times each other. It's just that
Mhm.
Valentina and Joanna had 3 fights in like their previous
In
sport
Muay
and
Thai
only one.
kickboxing and then 1 in
Yeah,
MMA, and now it's 2
2-2.
it's gonna be 2 and 2,
Yeah,
but no matter what, like, Pereira's gonna have the advantage 3-1 if Izzy even wins.
yeah, and I mean yeah, and then if Pajeda wins again, that's a 4-0 sweep. You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
4-0.
Just
You
like
are
Valentina, and that's
yeah,
crazy.
exactly.
It just shows sometimes you got a fighter's number. That's you just
Yeah,
got it.
you just dialed in.
Oh, but yeah, so from one amazing title fight to another,
Mhm.
the intense rivalry between Cody Garbage Ranch and TJ Dillashaw. This, bro, I remember watching Tough when they were coaches on it, and
Yeah.
me and Bird laughing at the fact of when Cody just grabbed up his neck and he was just like he was in my personal space and just
Yeah.
just he's like I snatched him up like an eagle.
Yeah.
Oh man, but so much shit talking between them. That shit
There
was
was
former teammates, and yeah,
mhm.
Cody coming into this fight as just got the championship off of Dom Ray or fucking Dom Reyes, Dom
Dominic
Cruz.
Cruz.
He styled on him in that fight.
He
That was
really did.
literally the performance of a lifetime. Just
Mhm.
eh, oh the. I don't think you'll ever see that clean and smooth of a performance in a championship fight over 5 rounds and
No.
just so technically ahead that the other person just had nothing for you. Oh
Yeah,
man, it
no.
was beautiful. That was a
But
masterclass
it
performance.
it really was, and like I was having to explain to, my dad about this fight because 'cause he'd never seen it before because he got into MMA really late,
Hmm.
in the last 3 years. I'm like, "No, you gotta understand, Dominic Cruz was very dominant as champion,
Oh yeah.
and Cody Garbrandt goes in there, knocks him down for the first time,
Yep.
and I believe his whole MMA career he had not been knocked down,
Hmm.
and literally was not only doing all that, but he was literally popping and locking on him as he knocked him
Dancing,
down.
shuffling, just oh man, it was beautiful.
Like, it
Yeah,
was
and
holy
Dom
shit.
Cruz's footwork was generations ahead of of his
It
opponents.
really
It
was.
was it was insane. That's why he up and I don't know up until now. I feel like with just kind of what TJ has been doing,
Mhm.
being able to get the belt again from Cody, in this instance,
Yeah.
and just how Dom has his career has kind of since gone. I feel like the talks of him being the greatest bantamweight of all time aren't really there anymore, but
Mm.
he is easily in the top three. You know what I mean?
I was about to say, like, I mean, at this point, who would you even put above him? Though.
I feel like the only people that like are really in that conversation, it's like TJ, Dom, and Henan Barrow, right?
Yeah, and
Henan
TJ
Barrow had the
beat.
crazy fall from grace, but like,
Yeah.
what he was on like a 31 fight winning streak at one point. That's it
No, yeah,
was
that's
like that. That's hard to fucking deny. You
it.
know what I mean?
It is, but when after lose to
TJ twice.
you lose to TJ twice, and then you win 2 more fights after that.
Yeah, I know that it was.
Like,
It was a terrible way to end it. But it
so
was like still, in his prime and like what he did. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like
No,
that's why
yeah.
I don't know. It's hard with talking about all time stuff. I really do feel like depending on the situation,
Mhm.
the losses aren't as important as just what you were
Yeah.
able to accomplish in your prime in the heights. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, well, that's why I would argue that Dominic Cruz would still be top because he still has the most title defenses out of any bantamweight champion. Was the
Yeah,
WEC bantamweight champion. He has a lot more accomplishments
that's
than
true.
any of the people you're bringing up.
That's very fair.
And his only loss to like he was dominating a whole team. He was dominating Team Alpha
Yeah.
Male up until the Garbrandt fight.
Yeah, it took like two generations of fucking alpha
Mhm.
male fighters to finally figure out how to beat
And
that dude. Uriah Faber created an entire gym and an army all dedicated to learn how to figure out this fucking
yeah,
dude and beat him.
because it's like if you go back and look through Dominic Cruz's record, before that he had a loss. Before that he had always had that one loss, and that one
Yeah.
loss was to Uriah Faber. It was a guillotine choke in the first round. But that was back when Uriah was 17-1, and
Oh yeah,
Dominic
yeah.
Cruz was only 9-0.
Yeah.
It was not, and
Got a
then
win over
after that,
Demetrius Johnson like when DJ was up a
yeah.
weight class. Like yeah,
No,
he's
exactly.
a legend. Like yeah,
No,
that's
exactly,
very fair.
and then after that, Uriah Faber does not win against Dominic Cruz ever again, loses
Yeah.
twice. He beat TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Nah, yeah,
basically beat
it's
that whole team except for Garbrandt,
yeah. 100%.
and he
All
that
right, we got way too sidetracked. TJ Cody. I was just like, shit. We've just been talking about Dom Cruz for mad long. TJ versus Cody, though, that it was a great fight.
Yeah.
They went out there, both of them trying to finish each other right
Oh
away.
my god.
They were looking for blood as soon
I was
as the
about to
bell
say.
went off. TJ gets a knockdown in the first round. Cody drops him at the end of the first round.
Mhm.
And then yeah, just after end of the round, just them fucking staring at each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that just so fucking good. And then
100%.
second round comes back out. Cody was thinking he was just gonna be able to like, oh, I had him hurt. Like I'm just gonna go touch him and
Yep.
fight's over. The complete
Nope.
opposite. 241 into the second round.
Mm-mm.
TJ ends up clipping him, and oh, that exact sequence of Cody looking for that big right hand and just
Mhm.
TJ landing his right hand first and like, Cody missing going unconscious.
Yeah.
That was the start of multiple of those same like similar knockouts and
Oh, yeah.
like fight ending sequences for Cody.
Mhm.
He really did kind of just get exposed when in that fight where if you kind of touch him up, he's gonna just be like, oh shit, I gotta fire back,
Yeah, exactly.
and he's gonna be hurt. You're not. You're gonna be more there and like more technical in the spot. And
Yes.
yeah, that just ended up plaguing the rest of Cody's career to this point. And
Mhm.
fucking TJ though, just yeah, able to regain the title, defends it again against Cody Garbrandt before trying to
Yep.
fucking move down and
Become double
oh,
champ,
and then
and
that
then,
whole terrible thing happened. But
and then TJ Dillashaw was born.
yep, the
So,
CEO of EPO baby, let's go.
mhm.
Oh, but the motherfucking main event of that night, Michael Bisping versus GSP. I was
Yep.
so excited for this one. The one and only time I've ever got to see GSP compete live in MMA.
Mhm.
Yeah, 4-year layoff after fucking being like barely beating Johnny Hendricks for the title to defend for the 7th time, or like the 7th consecutive time.
I just realized how fucked up that is. That Johnny Hendricks opened up a GSP card.
That is funny. How like that is just really funny. Just after that fight, yeah, Hendricks
In
became
the same
champ.
weight class.
Yeah, I know. That's so oh my god. I never put that together.
That is
That's pretty amazing.
ridiculous.
But yeah,
What
GSP
the fuck?
again coming back against Bisping. This was easily his best opportunity to move up to middleweight and get that belt from
Yeah.
anyone was against Bisping, who I mean, he got it done against Luke Rockhold to get that first round KO like that but it was just very opportunistic. You know what I mean? It wasn't like
Yeah.
lucky, but it's just if it was any other fighter as the champion, you know what I mean?
Bisping
Bisping
might not have been
probably
able to get it.
exactly.
It
And
was very much like them, like, planning around this one hole they found in Luke Rockhold's game where when he
yep,
would disengage from being in a clinch or being really close, he would lay it he'd keep his hand down and just be able to get that left hook right over that.
yep. Just
Knocks
being
him.
too relaxed, just being, like
Yep.
just not safe enough and yeah,
Mhm.
just fucking exit like you said, exiting out just hands down and
Yeah,
Bisping just caught
exactly.
him. Just that was awesome for Bisping though. That was a
So,
great moment. And then I mean just absolutely fucking the middleweight division trying to set up this fight. Fucking
yeah.
having like because that's when Bobby Knuckles became interim champion and stuff, and like
Yeah, against
it.
Yoel.
Oh, and Yoel missing weight for fucking interim title fights, and like
Yeah.
there was
It
there
well, not
was
only just setting up the GSP fight, but also trying to set up that Dan Henderson fight
oh
who was
my
ranked number 11 at the time.
Yup, and Bisping barely scraped that win by too, which is
Yeah.
insane. He was like a 43-year-old Dan Henderson,
Mhm.
like oh, but yeah, and it was a great fight. Bisping did way better against GSP than I thought.
Yeah.
You could just tell that GSP was packed on way too much weight, way more slower,
Mhm.
didn't have the same sort of cardio. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, fucking, and in the third round ends up knocking down Bisping. Gets the back, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, it
And
takes the back
yeah, it
and then
takes
gets
the
the
back.
RNC.
Yeah, gets the rear naked choke and just chokes Bisping unconscious. He wasn't gonna tap.
Mhm.
There ain't no way in hell you were gonna get Bisping to tap
Not at
to
all.
fucking Canadian GSP. Are you intoxicated?
Are you intoxicated? Are you
Yeah,
intoxicated?
yeah, and then fucking GSP.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, I don't know. He might have been like the third or fourth at that point. Not like simultaneous double champ, but like just double champ in UFC history.
Yes. Because, well, if we're doing it by that standard, you had,
Because
uh,
Connor at that point,
well, if we're not
then
going simultaneous, you have Randy
well
Couture,
yeah, but he was still
BJ
just but
Penn.
he was also just a double like 2 weight
No,
class
I know.
champion, you know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have BJ Penn at 155, 170. You have
Yeah,
uh, Randy Couture at heavyweight 205. You got then, your Connor, and then probably
that's
GSP
what
and
I think.
DC around the same time.
DC was after because he beat Stipe
Yeah.
in 2018.
Yeah, no, so
So yeah, I think he might have been your fourth 2 weight class champion.
yeah, somewhere in there.
Absolutely beautiful, but
Mhm.
yeah, fucking 217. Fucker did 875,000 pay-per-view buys on that card, which is
Yep.
amazing. But yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was an amazing card. They really need to start bringing cards like this back to MSG. Not
They really do.
fucking Izzy Pajeda and then Giancarlo and be like that's good enough. They need shit like
Yeah,
this.
no. Because what what
DC
event was
Derek
that?
Lewis.
Hmm,
Fucking
what
yeah,
event was
it
Alex
like I mean because all of the MSG ones have been good, but I
Mhm,
just they really should just be like spectaculars, you know what I mean? It should
mhm.
just be all in. And but yeah,
No, yeah,
that's
100%.
oh man. But yeah, I think that about wraps up our little throwback Thursday for
Mhm.
this amazing UFC card. Um I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a fun one.
Mm.
We're gonna have, I don't know, next video coming out. Just gonna be the
Mhm.
podcast Sunday as usual. Gonna be talking about all things in UFC, Piotr versus Marab, Bellator
Mhm.
292. So let's go. Thank you everyone for watching. Catch you later.